Another day and another DC star packing up their bags and leaving the Warner Brothers lot as James Gunn makes room for his new DCU. On top of that, there are more fan questions being answered in incredibly vague ways by James Gunn online. And so in this video, we're going to collect all the information, go over what is being said, and give you the best look at what the new DCU will look like. And hopefully, we will get a lot of answers in just under a month when Peter Safran and James Gunn unveil their new DCU slate to all of us, the fans. So first up, we'll talk about The Rock, his statement, what I think he's saying between the lines. Then we will talk about this rumor that James Gunn is going to reboot everything except his toys, essentially Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, etc. Then we'll talk about Zachary Levi, who may be setting himself up for a really embarrassing couple of paragraphs put on black background in just a couple of months. And then finally, we will speculate about the big announcement from James Gunn. He's been saying a few things about that as well. So smash a gosh dang like on this video. Get your barf bags ready because we're back on the DC roller coaster ride. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, well, it was made official last night via a statement on Instagram and Twitter from The Rock himself about meeting with James Gunn and no longer being Black Adam, at least for the time being. So I'll really quickly read through his statement, then I'll give you my takeaway on what he's actually saying between the lines here. My passionate friends, I wanted to give you a long-awaited Black Adam update regarding the character's future in the new DC universe. James Gunn and I connected, and Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling. However, DC and $7 have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in the future DC multiverse chapters. James and I have known each other for years and have always rooted for each other to succeed. It's no different now, and I will always root for DC and Marvel to win and win big. You guys know me, and I have very thick skin, and you can always count on me to be direct with my words. These decisions made by James and DC leadership represent their vision of the DCU through the creative lens. After 15 years of relentless hard work to finally make Black Adam, I'm very proud of the film we delivered for fans worldwide. I will always look back on the fan reaction of Black Adam with tremendous gratitude, humility, and love. We did great. To my very passionate and vocal Black Adam superhero genre fans, I love you. Thank you. And I will always listen to you and do my best to deliver and entertain you. What a hell of a month. Now we all need some Terra Mana. Have a productive week and happy holidays to you and your families. Signed, DJ. So there's a couple of things going on. I think the first thing to focus on is the idea that Black Adam is not going to be in the new DCU, but he does mention ways to bring Black Adam back for the DC multiverse chapters. Now I'm speculating here, but I can assume this was what Gunn was referring to when he was talking about Cavill maybe eventually coming back down the line. It seems like they have sort of a plan B or maybe a long-term plan to do a crisis kind of event and maybe bring back some of these key actors for a multiversal fun ride, something similar to what Marvel is going to do in Secret Wars. I also think The Rock is being really direct and just saying that this is totally on James and the new DC leadership, and their vision just doesn't match up with Black Adam being a part of it. He talks about the hard work he did for Black Adam, being very thankful, and then he puts in this crazy line about always listening to the fans and needing a drink after all of this crazy stuff. And I think that really speaks to the fact that Rock brought Henry Cavill back. And at a time when the entire internet seems to be melting down because Gunn is not bringing Henry Cavill back, The Rock is out here being like, I will always listen to you. It seems just a bit underhanded, but also completely professional. It is very dressed up. I think it's a very classy thing that he said, while also still kind of courting to the Snyder fans and, kind of putting his intentions out there. Now, some people are bringing up the Marvel thing that he brought up, and they're speculating that maybe he's going to go try to get a gig over with Marvel now. That could happen, but I gotta be honest, guys. I really don't see that going down. Kevin Feige, he has a lot of control, and Dwayne always wants a lot of control. And a lot of the stuff we've heard from the past couple of months about things that Dwayne Johnson has done behind the scenes to not show up in the Shazam movie, distancing himself from the Shazam movie, sort of forcing the hand of the studio to bring Cavill back as a post-credit scene. And honestly, as I've been reporting on for months now, it really did feel like Rock was trying to make a land grab for DC. He would have been the James Gunn of this whole situation, I think, if his plans had, happened the way he wanted. But that's not what happened. And now James Gunn has the gig, and Black Adam and the whole thing that Dwayne was working on, it doesn't tie into it at all, which is kind of ironic because James Gunn's wife is in Black Adam. So there's questions there as to, like, is that character still around? But regardless, the main takeaways, there's potential multiversal stuff in the future. Black Adam will absolutely not be a part of the new DCU that James Gunn is building, and that's kind of where we're at. But let's talk about the freaking Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and James Gunn, and a move that I personally think could really damage the chances of his DCU actually succeeding. In a big Twitter thread, My Time to Shine Hello, very reliable scooper, talked about all the different characters that were going to be leaving from the current DCEU and the characters that will be safe. And in this big Twitter thread, basically all of the Snyderverse actors are done. But John Cena as Peacemaker, James Gunn's wife, and even Viola Davis, who plays Amanda Waller, is safe. Now, this caused a big uproar online because, of course, this feels weird as heck to get rid of all of these different people, but keep your wife in a role, keep the Suicide Squad that you created that already had a convoluted continuity and honestly bombed in the box office, and to keep Viola Davis and just characters that you've worked with, like friggin' Peacemaker and all of that. That just seems crazy. It seems really just off-putting. And a lot of fans are fired up that he's getting rid of all of these other actors, but he's not willing to let go of his own stuff. Now, James Gunn did respond to this and essentially said it's a false rumor, but the only clarified statement he made was that we are not recasting everybody except for the Suicide Squad. And this seems like that same old James Gunn thing where he's being incredibly vague. And essentially this could mean one of two things. Either they are recasting the Suicide Squad, or there are other characters outside of the Suicide Squad that are also not going to be recast. And I think if James Gunn reboots but keeps a bunch of people that are personal friends or colleagues of his in the DCU and shuts down a bunch of fan favorite characters like frickin' Ben Affleck Batman and Henry Cavill Superman, it is going to be a massive blow to the potential of his DCU. It will feel like nepotism. It will feel like ego, and people will be very, very angry. I've been saying the whole time, like, I'm trying to be fair about this. I'm trying to get excited about the DCU. I think a reboot could absolutely work, but a partial reboot will bring in at least a part of the drama and baggage that was basically just dooming the DCEU. The crazy black cloud where they spent millions of dollars on a movie to make it not canon, even though fans like it more. Like, this shit has got to stop. In order to let go of all of that, we need a completely fresh reboot. So I am still holding out hope that James Gunn will do the right thing and will just completely reboot everything. But I also do believe My Time to Shine Hello. So it's a really interesting part. Now, that takes us to Zachary Levi. Now, according to My Time to Shine Hello, Zachary Levi, done, out, no longer going to be Shazam in the DCU, but Zachary Levi is making comments on social media that make it seem like he's good and he's still going to be in the DCU, and even other scoopers like Daniel Rickman are retweeting things indicating that Zachary Levi is about to look really, really silly because he is also hearing that Zachary Levi is done. Gal Gadot has not made any kind of a statement recently, but a lot of people are saying she is done as well, and it would make sense. It feels par for the course at this time that all the Snyderverse actors and actresses will be done. But Viola Davis was also involved in all of the Snyder characters, and so was James Gunn's wife, and friggin' to a degree the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker literally have interactions and talk about the Justice League and stuff. It's crazy, man. The whole thing is nuts. And I'm just telling you right now, if there's not a total and complete reboot, I just don't know. I don't know if I can support it, and I know a lot of people will be super upset. Now, with all of that being said, I do want to wait until we hear from James Gunn himself about his new plan before I completely go off the deep end and swear off the DCU forever, right? Again, if it is a total and complete reboot, despite all the messiness and despite us learning in this really trickled out way where all the different actors and actresses and people involved, they're making statements and it's so exhausting. Despite all of that, I still love the DC characters, and I'm still hopeful that James Gunn could actually create a DCU that we would all cheer for. So hopefully very soon, when Peter Safran and James Gunn actually announce their new slate, we will get some clarification. Recently, a fan asked James Gunn how many projects will be announced in January when he rolls out the slate. Will it be more or less? And James Gunn said a few. Again, just being incredibly vague, but maybe we will get a few projects announced and the idea of whether or not this is a full reboot or a total reboot established. Because I think if they don't give us actual clarity in January, people are going to lose their mind. I mean, the amount of negative tweets towards James Gunn and DCU currently is like hundreds of thousands a day. It is insane. The stock price is hurting bad. Fans are going crazy. And I think partially because we're still confused. There isn't clarity on what's happening. It feels like doublespeak. It feels like everybody's getting different information and we just want to know what is going on. There will absolutely be some fans that will probably swear it off and be super toxic regardless of what he does. But I'm really trying to be fair about this, and I think if it's a total reboot, it could work. I'm hoping that that's what it is, and it is announced in January. But man, I think the worst case scenario for the new announcement is James Gunn not being crystal clear about what is happening, presenting some new stuff, some new ideas in films that he's working on, but then leaving us in mystery. Now, on the one hand, this would have been a smart move to do because you do have these other movies like Shazam 2, The Flash, and Aquaman 2 coming out. But you've already stepped in it a bit by coming out and talking about how some of this stuff is going away. And so I think the cachet of these movies next year is already incredibly diminished. And I hope that he's not going to try to be vague in January to keep some of the remaining cachet and to keep it possible that some of these characters are sticking around like Gal Gadot. That would be a big mistake as well. So as far as what it looks like right now, it looks like it is a mostly total reboot, but the rumors are that a lot of James Gunn's personal stuff is going to stick around, which would be freaking absurd, but hopefully that's not true and he fully reboots it, and we will find out very soon in January, one would hope. Let me know what you think about all this freaking craziness with DC in the comments section below. Smash a like on this video if you like it. Subscribe to this channel and our live streaming channel so you have a chance to win the dope nerdy stuff that we give away each month. And if you want to watch more, why not check out this video I just made about Harrison Ford confirming that he's coming to the MCU and that he's going to be the Red freaking Hulk.